Okay, everyone, hello, hello. Wait another couple seconds for people to join. Good Erev Shabbos. Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Hope everyone's drinking water, washing your hands. Okay, remember, guys, we showed you how to wash the hands. So wash your hands, drink water, and be part of the solution for people around you. Help them out, be a source of strength, keep you calm. Not going on, you want to be part of this solution. Okay, let's start. Okay, so facing Shabbos always provides a complication. I spoke last week on Erev Shabbos about changing the conversation, but not trying to speak about the virus that much. I think it's harder this time. It's really overwhelmed our lives, so we want to try to make sure that we're Mekayim the mitzvah, of the davar. We shouldn't speak on Shabbos about the same issues that we're obsessed with during the week. But a different challenge on Shabbos and facing the medical crisis on Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos on Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph cites a sheet of Beis Shammai that you're not allowed to be mevaker chola on Shabbos. You're not allowed to visit people who are ill on Shabbos. Beis Hillel disagrees, and Beis Hillel allows it. Beis Hillel matir it. Yet, Beis Hillel is sensitive to the concerns of Beis Shammai. If you visit a sick person, you'll cry, you'll perform tshuva, you'll tear, you'll be sad. You're not supposed to feel tsar on Shabbos. So even though Beis Hillel allows visiting an ill person on Shabbos, you have to change the tonality of visiting an ill person on Shabbos. Tana Rabbanan, the Gemara says, Shabbos Daf Yud Beis. Hanichnas levaker es achola. If you do visit someone who's ill on Shabbos, Beis Hillel says, Omer, instead of davening, Shabbos hi milizok urefua karova lavo. Well, we all know that phrase. That's how we end the Mishaberachs on Shabbos. Shabbos hi milizok urefua karova lavo. That's an interesting shita. It's a middle position. We don't ignore davening for sick people on Shabbos, but we change and we alter the classic way we daven. Typically, when a person's ill, that's a message from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What should I improve? How should I change? What does it say about myself? How can I inspect myself, my behavior? Tshuva, crying, tearing, screaming to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On Shabbos, that type of response to illness isn't suitable for Shabbos. So instead, we daven, but the davening is a little bit different. It doesn't ignore refuah. It just speaks about it in a different way. Shabbos hi milazok. We're not going to scream and cry. Urefuah karova lavo. But the refuah will come. Well, if we're not going to daven, specifically for the sick person, we're not going to cry, and we're not even going to perform tshuva, then how is refuah karova lavo? What type of healing can Shabbos provide that's different from tshuva, crying, davening? What's this refuah karova lavo? So Rav Kook actually speaks about this in his parish in the Gemara in Shabbos Daf Yud Beis. I'm going to offer a variation of what he says. I'm not going to read the words. They're very, very poetically dense. That's Rav Kook's style. But when a person cries and performs tshuva, he or she is responding to the immediate suffering and the immediate message and trying to recover within the illness. There's another way to achieve refuah, and that's more transcendent, leaping above where we are, leaping above wherever we're living in the time that we're placed in our historical moment, and connecting to themes of Shabbos as well as Shabbosos that are the source of a higher refuah, not just refuah through medical attention, through tshuva, through spiritual growth, but connecting to larger than, broader than, that the refuah's krovas. Actually, it's an easier way to achieve refuah. How do you? So 2 ideas. First of all, we keep Shabbos. And for those of you who have a chance, I know some of you, most of you in America listening, listen to the 2-minute Divrei Chizuk I placed on my Facebook and Twitter, the story of Rav Amital and what he told us about his Shabbos in the concentration camps. And if you feel that it's hard to keep Shabbos, please take a listen to that story and share. It's just a beautiful story. But when we keep Shabbos, we're remembering HaKadosh Baruch Hu resisting or desisting from work on the first Shabbos of Brias Olam. And we're returning back to that moment. Tonight during davening in our homes, because none of us will be in shul, we'll recite Hashem, Malach, Geus, Lavesh, Lavesh, Hashem, Oz, Hisazar. Well, think about what the world was like that first Shabbos when HaKadosh Baruch Hu completed Vaychul HaShamayim V'Haaretz, and the world was perfect. And the world wasn't broken. And the world was all paradise. Somehow we feel, it's hard to know, don't take these statements too specifically, but it's clear to us that this is a broken world. And it's malfunctioning on many levels. And the virus is some sign, symbol, message, reflection, whatever. I don't want to become too specific because that's dangerous, but it's not just happenstance. There's something broken about the world we inhabit. And we dream about before the world was broken, before human beings fell, before man fell, before chet, before disobedience. And this Shabbos trying to think about returning back to that perfect world. 1 second, I just ask my children to please keep it down because Guys, let's keep the music down, okay? Tonight we'll say the word Vayichulu Hashemayim v'Haaretz v'Chol Tzva'am. The Gemara says in Shabbos, Daf Kuf Chav Ches, that if a person says Vayichulu with Kavana, the language of the Gemara is Naseh Shutef LaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Brias Olam. You become a partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Well, we weren't partners in the first Brias Olam because we weren't there. But now is a chance for us to partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu to rehabilitate and to restore the world and to think about a world that was healthier, that was better functioning until we got our hands on it. And now that we've got our hands on this world, we've advanced it in certain ways and we've set it back and literally contaminated it in other ways. And Shabbos is a chance for us to not just respond to our own personal medical issue and the millions of medical issues that people are facing across the world, but to respond to something larger, more cosmological. The world is unhealthy. And we'll try to think about the last time the world was perfectly healthy, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and by keeping Shabbos, we'll tap into some of that. I don't know who will be healed, who won't be healed, but that's refuah krova lava, not just my own tshuva or our own collective tshuva, but something larger than tshuva, refuah krova lava. But there's another Shabbos to think about. Shabbos is called Mikor HaBracha. I'll say it tonight in Lechadodi. The famous story of the Chavetz Chaim. I won't tell you the entire story now. Basically, someone came pleading for the Chavetz Chaim for a bracha. His son was a big Mechal Shabbos, and the Chavetz Chaim told this person, don't ask me for a bracha. If you want a bracha, keep Shabbos, and have your son keep Shabbos, because that's the Mikor HaBracha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't just deliver Shabbos, Vayichulu Hashemayim v'Haaretz v'Chol Tzva'am, created bracha on this day, and those who keep this day, they are the Mikor HaBracha. They are receiving bracha from the source of HaKadosh. It's like channel. Hashem is channeling brachas to people through Shabbos. Noam and Hashamos will say tonight in Ka'echsav. Lahashkos smei chasdecha. We desire HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed, we'll say in Ka'echsav. Some of the lines there are just so resonant. Levilti Tiyes Sagur Mehem. This is really what the song of Ka'echsav is based upon. So if you want to have kavanah during Vayichulu, you want to have kavanah during Hashem Malach Giyos Lavesh Lavesh, you want to have kavanah when you sing Ka'echsav, none of these talk about refuah, but all these talk about the larger therapeutic role of Shabbos for ourselves and for the world. So we're asking that Shabbos should provide us levilti tiyes sagur mehem, that we shouldn't be closed off. We're closed off from so much, from each other, from our family members, from activity, from this world. Levilti tiyes sagur mehem, kol shisha yamin. Maybe these next 6 days we won't be closed off. We won't be deterred. Shabbos Kodesh. What a phrase to think about. Nafshi cholas ahavasecha. My soul is sick with your love. Now, we would like for that illness to be just infatuation with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, but unfortunately, we're now sick, and we've thought a lot about the love we hope we feel for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we hope and we trust He feels for us. And then, of course, when you sing Ka'echsav, think about the Nahar Hayotze Me'eden, Le'aden Es Yisrael. That was the river of Gan Eden that provided life for the world in that perfect state. But that river will recur. Because in Yecheskel Mem Zayin, Parak Mem Zayin, the Navi talks about a river coming out from the Beis HaMikdash, traveling in the general direction of stone, but in all areas. Listen to this pasuk. V'haya kol nefesh chaya asher yishrotz, all the life that will spring from the river. El kol asher yavosham, anyone that visits the river, nachalayim yichyeh. I have to ask my children, they're being very loud. It's hard for me to hear myself. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's actually, there's a car driving through the yeshuv. I'll let you hear it. There's a car driving through the yeshuv blasting music. I thought it was someone in our house. So this is just a car going through blasting good Shabbos music. So one day there will be a Nahar Hayotze Me'eden that will return and provide life and will rebuild our world and will rebuild the arid sections of stone and will rebuild and rejuvenate and restore. And we're getting pretty close because Chazal tell us that if the Jewish people keep 2 Shabbosos, Mashiach is here. And now we're in a state where most Jews are probably going to keep something of a semblance of Shabbos. I know they won't keep a halachic Shabbos, but Shabbos is not all or nothing. And we wish that we keep Shabbos volitionally. And who knows what's happening in our world, but I do know that we have more rainfall this winter than in the last 50 years. So whatever rivers are starting to percolate underneath the Beis HaMikdash, starting to make their way through, the Mirz Hashem, we should be zocher for the Nahar Hayotze Me'eden. So my recommendation this Shabbos is not to ignore refuah, and not to ignore. Last week I spoke about ignoring it and trying to change the topic and trying to be Mekayim a Shabbos where your speech is different than your speech during the weekday. I don't think that's appropriate anymore, given the sweep of this thing. Obviously, you don't want to become embedded in it and vexed by it and sad the entire Shabbos. And on that note, I want to give one other practical bit of advice. The halacha of Big Day Shabbos is not just because you're in shul and because you want to create an environment. If you're in a room by yourself, you're mechabed the Shabbos. It's part of Kavod Shabbos. So it's so hard for us to keep Shabbos this week because it feels like the whole week has been Shabbos. None of us have left our house. Obviously, we've been on the internet and Zoom, but it's pretty Shabbos. I'm going to have heat Mirz Hashem this Shabbos. I'm going to have hot food in Mirz Hashem this Shabbos, like I did the past week. So the one way to be Mekayim, to make Shabbos different, please be Makbid on Big Day Shabbos. Please be Makbid to be Makabel Pnei HaMalka, the Malka of Shabbos, the Kala of Shabbos. Again, if you're sleeping, you don't wear your Big Day Shabbos, but don't walk away from some of the Kiyumim of Shabbos just because the context has changed and the environment has changed. So think about Shabbos, Refuah Krova Lavo. That's the tefillah the Gemara in Shabbos Yud Beis urges us. It's about Refuah, but it's not about asking for Refuah because of Tshuva and tefillah. It's a Refuah that's there, that's latent in our world, and it's Krova Lavo. We have to access it through Shabbos. Thinking about Shabbos Shobrachus and thinking about Shabbos Liyasin Lavo, Liyom Shakula Shabbos, when all this fades, and Shabbos, Noam HaNeshamos, our Neshamos will delight in the Yom Shakula Shabbos, and in Mirz Hashem, we should be able to draw from the Shabbos that was once and the Shabbos that will be, a little bit of that refuah into this world, and a little bit of restoration into a world that's suffering. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Really, everyone. Say good Shabbos. I'll unmute everyone. Whoever's here, say good Shabbos to each other. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Just in terms of information, we're returning to Zoom. It seems like it's easier for people. I'll post the links. The best one is look at my Facebook feed, Twitter feed. It's all up there. So, and I'll share it to the various WhatsApp groups, okay? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Again, be strong for the people around you. Okay? Be the solution. Everyone has a lot of tension on their heads. Be big people, be strong people, be selfless people. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Shabbat Shalom.